Vertical now, and I'm going to turn it horizontal. Here we go. See if this works. Rotate your phone. Please send me a little comment there if my phone is if my orientation isn't right. But I'm here at home, as I'm sure most of the country is at the moment, in the midst of the COVID-19 outbreak. Sad times, really. We're just over and the shock and awe of Brexit, and it's the wrong way around. Here we go, and we are now plunged into another interesting and weird and wonderful and scary scenario. Thank you very much, Jemima. So I'm going to put you like that. Hopefully that stays because I'm plugged in. Here we go. Turn you that way. So yeah, it's a strange time, and everyone's on it saying we're having an IT fail. It's not my fault. I'm trying to do all this from home. It's typical that I'm not able to add. The person on here is Alistair is watching. That's great. But I'm supposed to be able to add another of my colleagues on. We're going to have a nice little chat about how we've seen the market change, or how we've seen the appetite change from investors, or get ramped up. There's a lot of interest in the market at the moment. There's also a lot of fear around, and we want to find out what your thoughts are, where everybody is, and how everybody's feeling about the whole thing. Because it's uncertain, it's scary, and nobody's comfortable, nobody's confident, but it's in these times, I think there are very, very good opportunities to be had. Now, can everybody hear me? It'd be good to know if you guys are all right. Let me know if there's anything you particularly want to talk about. I just think we're going to run for 20 minutes, half an hour-ish, and see what we can do. Poor old John Tavel trying to get on here. John, you're going to have to write some comments in, mate. We can have some banter in the comments section if that works for you. Let's see if I can get out of that light. So, would it be wise to shut that? Let's see if that works. That better. Get rid of a bit of daylight. I'm in my upstairs bedroom, and that actually looks a lot better. Hey Martin, how you doing, mate? I hope you're well. Hope you guys up there in Liverpool are keeping well. I can imagine the gyms are closed, so you're out on the streets running, keeping your fitness and keeping your spirits up. Look, it's a tough time for us all, and everybody is looking to government, looking to authority sources to try and get some confidence and try and get some sort of assurance as to what's going on. We had Rishi talking about how self-employed people are going to be looked after as well, but on the face of it, sounded great. Secondly, when you look deeper into it, it seems that some people are still not going to be covered or cared for during this time. It's really tough. So, what I'm finding is investors are calling us and speaking to us and saying, well, what do we do? Because, is it a time to be cautious, or is it a time to, are there any deals that we can take up on? Because borrowing is extremely cheap at the moment. And if you can get a good rate, or if you can get a good product, you do extremely well. And you're getting the cheapest lending you can get, in the history of borrowing at the moment. So it's difficult. I've always said that timing is everything. And on the face of it, this looks like a fantastic time to be out gathering market share. I guess I know we've got to be conscious of the fact that this is really, really tough for a lot of people. It's going to be very traumatic for industries. It's going to be very traumatic for families. It's going to be very traumatic for a lot of people in our society, and that is awful. We always have to be wary that the general populace, we want everyone to be all right, of course, ideally. But in this, in the grand scheme of things, we're in a situation where nobody knows what's going to happen. And, if you can, take full advantage of the situations that that present themselves to you. So look, chuck some questions at me. Tell me my orientation is the wrong way around. Tell me my lighting is bad. Whatever you want to do. If you can hear me, let me know. And if there's anything you want to cover, please let me know. Forgive me. This is very rudimentary, this setup, but I'm on my iPhone in the top of my house. Baby's downstairs asleep, so if he starts getting roused and comes upstairs, he's going to be featuring in the. My lighting is great. He's going to be featuring in the live. So I'm going to go on to it on my laptop next to us here. So if I can get some questions up, we've already had a few questions, which is great. People are engaging. People are interested. People want to understand what our advice is. One of the things I want to start with is, in fact. I'm finding it quite interesting, the engagement we're getting. So, we're a property investment company. We're people first. First and foremost, we are people. We are family members. We are dads. We are sons and brothers and mothers and there we go, sisters. And we're all human beings, and we want to make sure that everybody's doing as best as they possibly can. And I'm looking at myself on the other screen. That's a bit freaky. So. First things first, protect yourselves. First things first, be safe. Take care of yourselves. Don't, go over and above what you're supposed to be doing. Stay in the house. Do what the government is suggesting that we do. Let's lock down. Let's keep it contained, and let's do what we got to do for the next few weeks. It's 4 weeks of your life in this position. Hopefully, not going to be a huge amount more than that. But if it is, so be it. Take care of yourselves, wash your hands, do what the government are telling you to do, take all that advice. Now, what I'm suggesting, John, I don't know if you can hear me, mate, but you're going to have to jump on. You're going to have to jump on the comments, mate, and we'll talk that way. I can't figure out how to add you into this. It would be nice to have you on to discuss things with me. But what I'm seeing is the comments that I'm getting and the engagement that I'm getting in some of our adverts. Now, I should have got a glass of water before this. We continue to advertise. We continue to market our stock, our current opportunities, because to be honest, there are some very, very good options that we've got available. And we're getting a lot of engagement from people at the moment that's quite negative, saying, how can you even think about this? What's the point? Why are you even bothering? Who cares about what the property market's doing? People are dying, etc., which I had to go back to, and comment and reply to some of these people and just remind them that yes, it's an awful time. Yes, it's traumatic, but life does go on for the vast majority. Business does go on. What about restaurant owners? What about nightclub owners or plumbers, plasterers? But everybody who's got a trade that they need to ply. What happens after COVID-19? I think Ollie's just asked that. What do you think the effects will be after the panic settles? What do you think is going to happen after that? I'll get to that in a sec. The comments that I'm having are quite, a lot of them are quite negative, saying, please don't, focus on this. It's not important at the moment. I disagree. It is very, very important. This is our livelihood. This is my livelihood. This is what, everybody that I work with, this is our, it's our bread and butter. It's what we feed our families with. Going forward, we're going to need to know that we can still do that. So yes, we've got to be kind. Yes, we've got to be, conscientious that there is a situation going on. But apart from over and above protecting yourselves and your family, what more can we do? Okay, we're allowed to have narrative. We're allowed to have conversations. Hi, John. We're allowed to, discuss how this is going to affect our business, how this is going to affect the markets going forward. It's not a dirty word. So I went back to a few people yesterday. A lot of my team are going back to guys and saying, look, we're in a market here that we need to discuss, we need to talk about, we need to understand what the benefits are or what the strengths are, what the losses are over the next, couple of months. Yes, people are in torrid times at the moment, but we also still need to feed our families going forward. So this is very, very important to us. So the people that are saying who cares, the answer to that is we care, and everybody on this list cares, I'm pretty sure. So look, Feel free to keep engaging, keep asking me these things on the comments, and keep saying, if you don't think it's valuable, or if you don't think it's the right time, it's fine. We're still going to keep our irons on the fire. We're going to still keep our ear to the ground for opportunities and good deals, as long as we possibly can. So back to Oliver Tahiri's question: what do you think will happen after coronavirus panic settles down? Buyers waiting on the side, they cause a boom. Now, that's absolutely, the case, and it always is the case. Whenever there's a market correction, or whenever there is a sort of downturn, what happens is people sit on the fence. And I know this all too well from Brexit. I know this all too well from, 2008. Most of the people in my team were in the property market in 2007, 2008, when we had the global financial crisis. Derek's saying, don't even engage them. I find it hard not to, mate. It's difficult when, we're talking about our livelihoods. Pilots, talking about how air traffic control is being affected. Nobody's telling them to be kind, and it's not important right now. It's evident from all the other downturns that we've had, back to Ollie's question, that there are people who sit on the fence. There are people who completely hold and retract and don't do anything in these times. And then there are people who are quite adventurous, are quite aggressive with their take up of market share, and are quite adventurous and risk averse. Opposite to risk averse, they're quite happy to look at taking risk. And you'll find that savvy investors make a lot of money during these times. So there are people that are searching out good deals at the moment. And then when the confidence comes back into the market, it's, the market surges, prices go up, values go up, confidence goes up, and therefore opportunity goes down. Therefore, strong, exciting opportunity, they're fewer and further between. So that's my thoughts on the timing of things. If you can, be bold, get out there, search out some good deals, and shoot your shot. Get out there and go and acquire some market share whilst that we're in a situation where, people are sitting on the fence, because you can get good deals, you can get good negotiation going, and people are interested in offering things. So it's a good time to do it. The Bank of England base rate at the moment is lower than it's ever been. Again, I mentioned that borrowing is very, very cheap. The pound sterling is rallied a little bit, but it's at a low lower than it has been for a long time, making Brexit dips look like a trip to the sweet shop. It's a very, very good time for overseas investors to be buying. So getting 10-15% discount just by virtue of the pound being so low it's a great time for foreign investment. And developers are looking around, going, who's going to buy my stock at the moment? So therefore, they are inclined to look at options. So it is a good time to be doing this, and I will need to get a glass of water in a second. I just went for a run, by the way. I'm not developing signs of symptoms, but if you do see anything, please flag it up. So it's a good time to be looking at options. It's a very, very interesting time to be having conversations with developers. And it's a very good time to be having conversations with people like ourselves, finding out what we're doing, what measures we're taking. Also, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what your thoughts are at the moment. How are you finding working from home? How are you finding, your landlords out there, guys that have bought with us already? How are you finding, if your tenants are on zero-hour contracts and not being renewed and not going to work and not able to pay their rents? What are the challenges and struggles that you guys are having at the moment? It would be very, very good to understand that. What's the Derek saying here? They're the ones that lose out. You're absolutely right, mate. I totally agree. But it's difficult for me to not engage with some people when it's quite obvious that it's just fear talking. And when you look over and above it, there's still a good market out there. So it's not just people saying, "Don't. How could you be talking about this? This is crazy." It's very inconsiderate of you to be looking at property markets when people are dying, etc. Which it's tough. It's also people saying, how can you increase prices at this time? If we've got a price increase going on, one of our projects, the Central Wolverhampton project, for example, we've got a price increase imminent. And people are saying, how can you increase prices in this market? Well, the answer to that is we started selling the project at the very earliest stages, and we've got a developing pricing structure throughout the construction. So, there's a price increase set in stone already. So when we hit milestones of the build, which we are still hitting, and milestones in the sales, which we are still hitting, the asset gets more valuable, the site gets more valuable, more tangible, less of a risk, and therefore the asset gets higher in price, and buyers who are getting in at this stage are buying a more tangible asset, and therefore they've got to pay the price for it. So they're paying slightly higher than the guys that got in when there was, when it was just a twinkle in the developer's eye. So that's the difference. We are able to put pricing, to put pricing structures into things. We have to stick to them because, the market's still moving on. People are still buying property. Developers are still building. They've planned a contingency into their builds, as always do, of a good few months. So 2-3 months off the site is not going to hurt too much in our scheduling. What have we got here? Alistair, the lack of supply of housing, not just keep the market healthy, regardless of the fact. Yeah, there you go. The lack of supply of housing. I mean, again, we've been saying this for years and years and years. It's evident for everyone to see. We are woefully short on property, on houses, on roofs over people's heads in this country. And a pandemic or lockdown is only shows it more evident. We are woefully short for of property in this country. What's the before, when we were talking about Brexit, our stats were something like 320,000 properties a year need to be built in order to keep up with demand. Now, we were nowhere near that. Even before Brexit, we're nowhere near that. After, the Brexit ruling, we're nowhere near that. After the election, we're nowhere near that now during this pandemic. So we're absolutely woefully short still of roofs that are required. So it just means that, the lack of supply is still there. And therefore, regardless of the pandemic, there are still good deals to be had. Hi Nina, nice to see you again. Appreciate you checking us out all the time and getting on board and seeing how we're getting on. How are you guys getting on? How are the kids? Is it okay, being at home? Are you homeschooling? What are you doing? Are you keeping them active? Are you guys keeping active? Is everybody exercising, etc.? Getting outside as much as you can. You guys are homeowners. Are you doing work on the house in the moment? What's the situation? Here we go. More questions coming through. I like it. What's happening as homeowners? Are you guys spending time on the house? Are you getting all those jobs done that are supposed to be, that you've been putting off for years and years and years? What's going on in your households? Because here I'm trying to keep up the demand. I've still got clients who are buying. We've still got clients who want to talk to us on a daily basis. So in the midst of trying to sort the 1.5-year-old out running around the house and trying to do some work and trying to exercise, it's chaos. I don't mind telling you. And trying to do a live every now and again. Any other questions? I'm more than happy to field. John, how are you getting on, mate? It would be nice to have you on, but unfortunately I can't work it out. I'm a bit of a Luddite. I can't work out how to add you to this. If I click here, your viewers, no, that doesn't help. Never mind. So let just go through some of the other comments that we've had of late. Wow, why Wolverhampton? What's happening in Wolverhampton? Well, I did a video about this the other day. Wolverhampton's a fantastic place for buy to let at the moment. It's, again, ridiculously undersupplied. It is 8 miles out of Birmingham, the second city of the UK. It is, it's
half the price of its, of its major neighbour. So you can get in there. You can get in property prices in Birmingham in Wolverhampton for much less than you can in Birmingham. And you're getting people that are priced out of Birmingham, renters that are priced out of Birmingham, who are forced to live live in places like Wolverhampton or satellite cities, surrounding locations, and travel into Birmingham. You've got HS2, which is still going ahead, which is going to connect the West Midlands to London and make it a lot more accessible from the capital. So, there clients and investors or people are asking all the time, what is the point? Why are you looking at the West Midlands? Why are you looking at Wolverhampton? Why are you looking at Redditch, which is another location that we're about to launch? Why are these locations important to us? And it's because of the ripple effect of the strength of Birmingham. What's happened in Birmingham has done extremely good numbers for the satellite cities and surrounding locations. John, no hard feelings, he said. I'll be expensing you for your hair and makeup. I can't imagine that's that much, mate. I'll just buy you a pint and that should cover it, right? Okay, more questions on here. Oh, nice to see all you guys on. Let's have a look. What else have we got? What other things have we had? We got Charlotte from Invoke Finance. How you doing, Charlotte? I hope you're well. How's things going for you guys? Is lending still happening at the same rate? We heard that Michael Gove suggested that people stop moving house or put a hold on their house purchases. This is for people who are buying to move house, etc., because you can't get removal vans, you can't get all the ancillary services that you would usually have when you're moving houses. So they're saying, look, just hold fire on it for a while. Doesn't affect our market, because our market are mainly off-plan properties. So the mortgages that we're working with are going to be a year from now when things are back to normal, hopefully. But it's an interesting fact. Are you moving house at the moment? What's happening? I know a couple of families who have just signed some contracts. One of them's online at the moment. Derek, didn't you just move house recently? So you got in just before all of this. So you're in your new place. You've got more space. You and your family can relax a little bit more. I hope that actually comes as quite a comfort. It's an interesting time. It's not something that we've never seen before, and we're all struggling to deal with it. We're all sort of trying to cope, but my advice is keep to a routine, exercise as much as you can, try and spend some time with loved ones and family, even if it's over the phone, even if it's something like this. And 2 pints, John says, try and keep some normality in your day to day. So set some time out for work, set some time out for lunch, set some time out for family, and then enjoy some time off, enjoy some downtime, but also exercise. Make sure you're keeping healthy and fit. Put some music on and enjoy yourself as well. Try and have the best time that you possibly can in this situation. Smiles on faces. That NHS a round of applause yesterday. I don't know if anybody else done that. Guys, let me know if you were on that NHS round of applause. Alistair, I know you're a bit further afield, so you probably didn't hear the round of applause that we heard in North London yesterday. It was absolutely superb. People were outside banging their plates, banging their crockery and their pots and pans, whistles. We had fireworks. It was phenomenal, and it just goes to show that people are, we really do appreciate the services. We really do appreciate the NHS, and it was a really nice, humbling feeling that everybody on our street. It was a lovely moment, and there were reports of not a dry eye in the house. It was a very, very nice bringing together of the community. I really enjoyed it. My missus and I took the time to go downstairs, had a glass of wine in hand as well. It was the first time we were able to speak to our neighbours across the road. We haven't spoken to them for about 2 weeks. So we shouted across the road, and it was lovely. So, it's these kind of things that remind us that we are all human. We are a community. We are, together. And this is why we want to do things like this. Keep talking to people. Understand what's going on in your lives so you can understand how we're managing it, what we're advising our clients. Our phones are ringing off the hook, by the way. I've had to put mine on airplane mode, so we're just going out live on Wi-Fi. But the office phones keep ringing. Buyers from all over the world. I mean, I've got some buyers in the Far East. I've got some buyers in Singapore. I've got some buyers in Taiwan, for example, where things have actually calmed down, cooled down. China, things have cooled down a little bit, touch wood. And people are back in the market. People are getting involved and getting their heads back on and saying, right, what do we do now? Going back to work, getting back into their offices. So we're a little bit behind that here in the UK. And we are, still working quite diligently. So we've got clients in that part of the world which keep us up very early. I know my colleague Francis is always one of the first online in the mornings because he's dealing with a lot of Asian clients who are still looking. They're still buying. They're still putting money down into the UK. It's a great time. As I said already, the pound is weak at the moment. Take full advantage of it where you can. So yeah, it's things like that. It's things like staying connected with investors. It's things like showing your face. It's things like, reaching out on WhatsApp. The old mediums aren't there anymore. You can't pop into the office in Mayfair at the moment. So give me a call, give me a WhatsApp, send me a video. We'll do the same. Emails are always good. Phone calls are always good. It's good to keep connected with people and see how people are doing things. Be good to have some more questions coming through, guys. Let's have a look. Well, what time are we on now? 34. Blimey, we've been gone for about 25 minutes. I'll have another 5 minutes or so. And any other questions in the meantime, that'd be great. I thought I had some notifications come through, but they are notifications on a little video that I posted of me and my son washing our hands. So if you want a nice little moment, go and watch that. But other than that, property-wise, I mean, we're in a situation where we've never been before. It's unprecedented, but we have seen downturns before. We have seen recessions before. We have seen market collapses before. We have seen economic restrictions before. And so what you can do, you can only go off historic data. You can only go off what you know. And therefore, what we know at the moment is there are deals to be had at the moment. If you are a bit bullish, if you're aggressive with it, there are good deals to be had at the moment. If you're still keeping your eye and your iron on the fire, you get in touch with people like ourselves, get in touch with the experts that and understand what lending is available at the moment, understand what options, what properties are available at the moment, what can't you sell that I can give you a decent deal, a decent price on, et cetera, et cetera. So there are good things that can come out of this, guys. So I implore you to search out the good from this, search out the positives from this awful situation that we're in at the moment. Jemima, where is a good place to buy now? What is undersupplied? I mentioned already, I don't want to keep banging on about the Wolverhampton project or our West Midlands projects, but they genuinely are. We're about to launch another West Midlands project in the next 2 weeks or so, so please look out for that. And it's in a location, it's a smaller town, so it's not a city. It's a smaller West Midlands town, but it's a beautiful West Midlands town. It's got a lot of history, a lot of character. John's giving me a sad face there. It's got a lot of history, a lot of character, but it hasn't got a lot of rental property. And that is key. So when we launch this particular project, get in first, get the earliest pricing. I would always say that's the best way to do it. Get in as early as you can. It's another conversion of an old office building, so it's a PD conversion again. And similar to our Wolverhampton project, same developer, same long-term rental yield as well, which is great. Same long-term rental assurance, which works extremely well. Even in times like this, I'll go back to another video I posted last week. We had a lot of clients, ex-clients, well, not ex-clients, but established clients that are already working with us, getting income, part of our long-term rental assurances. Get in contact. They were contacting us saying, well, hang on a minute, what's going to happen with my tenant? If my tenant's on a 0-hour contract, if my tenant is made redundant, what happens? Will I still be getting my rental assurance? And is my rental assurance still active? And I'm pleased to say that the projects that we work on and the companies that we work with they have landlord insurance to that covers these eventualities. So if your tenant is not able to pay their rent, you are covered for the duration of the rental contract. So with our developers, with our management company, by the way. So the Wolverhampton one, the new one in the other West Midlands town that I'm going to mention later. With the long-term rental assurance, they are fully insured for this type of eventuality, for this type of scenario. So all of those investors, I can reassure you now, I'm really, really pleased to say, it gives me pleasure to say that your income is backed. Don't worry, you're still getting your rental income. There's not going to be any situation where you don't get the remainder of your contract paid out. So we're really, really pleased to say that. It's a real nice ray of positivity coming out of an otherwise not a nice scenario that we're in. So it's positive. We are still paying out rents, which is great. So Jemima, to go back to your question, where are good places that are undersupplied? If you read our new marketing brochure, what do we call it? Our new buy-to-let guide. I mean, last year, our buy-to-let guide in 2019, we spoke more about big cities like Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool. We were discussing those options to advertise the opportunities that were available there. Fantastic opportunities. We did extremely well in those locations last year. We've now seen Birmingham go, quite heavy on the price per square foot. And therefore now this year, if you read our new buy-to-let guide, our 2020 buy-to-let guide, which you can get if you just comment down, we'll send you a copy of it, or sign up to our website or the socials, wherever we are, sign up and you'll get a buy-to-let guide from us for 2020. What we're talking about, the undersupplied markets, are these tertiary towns, these satellite cities and tertiary locations. These are the locations that are enjoying the ripple effect, I hate to keep using that term, the benefits of these major cities that grew and that blew, over the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. They're benefiting from those now because the prices are getting higher in these locations and people are being forced out. Urbanization is bringing people closer to these major cities, and the prices that are going up are forcing people to live further and further out of these major cities. So there is a bigger demand for rental property in cities and towns outside of these major cities and towns. So where commuters can get into Birmingham, where commuters can get into Manchester, for example, where commuters can get into London. These are locations that are definitely undersupplied, definitely in need of more rental property. And you can do quite well from these locations. This is all in our 2020 buy-to-let guide. Those of you who are investors with us already as well, prepare. You will be getting our quarterly magazine, our first quarterly magazine of 2020, which is coming out now. I should know because I've been tasked with some of the articles that fell on my lap. That I ran it to my deadline, of course. This is what I do. It reminded me of being back at school and college and, trying to get things done on a deadline. What did I do? Just leave it to the last minute. So you'll get those relatively soon. End of the first quarter, you'll see what we've done in the first quarter, where we've been, how we've had success, what we've learnt, and where we're going for quarter two, what we've got in the pipeline for the rest of the year, etc. Stay in touch with us. Keep us up to date with what you're doing. Keep us up to date with what works for you. We've had clients in the office. We had a client, myself and a colleague met a client 2 weeks ago. I was going to say last week. I've lost track of time. It was about 2 weeks ago. The client is looking for a different type of asset class. He's got 32 properties now under his personal name. And as a family, he's got 65. They've got 65 in the family fund. And they want a different type of opportunity. So we're working on something with them. So it's all about being creative. It's all about finding out what people want, what works for them, what doesn't work. And remember, we are investors ourselves. We are building our own portfolio. So we are being aggressive this year with acquisition. We are trying to take up as much market share as possible. We want to keep safe and we want to keep happy, but I don't know what this is. What are these notifications that are coming through? We want to keep safe and we want everybody. There you go. There's a link to our newsletter. Thank you very much, IT team. You couldn't help me add John onto the chat, but you've helped us feed everybody with with the newsletter. So please join here. Click that link in the comments and join and sign up for our newsletter. So look, it's a really strange time. I'm quite enjoying working from home when we get stuff done, and I'm quite enjoying the energy that my team have, whether it's the London office, whether it's the Dubai team. Everybody's keeping up the energy. The clients that are calling us, investors that are calling us, the energy is excellent. We're all still looking at very, very good deals, and you know we're all still keeping our doors open. Metaphorically speaking, not literally, because that wouldn't be quite safe. So you know we're just doing what we can to keep the engine going. We're just doing what we can to keep informing clients, informing potential buyers on the market, and you know what can be done in this time, how we can spin this pretty awful and traumatic climate into something good for you and your family, for you and your future, and for us as a community. So look, you know, I'm going to sign off now. You've heard me babble on for probably about half an hour. Would have been nice to have been able to get one or two other members of the team on. So unfortunately, you had to sit and watch me. I really appreciate everybody who has sat on and gone through it, and I appreciate all the questions that have come in. I hope I've answered some of them. Feel free to keep peppering some questions along and engage with us on socials. You know where to find us, and I look forward to hearing from you going forward. Stay safe, have a great weekend. Do weekends even count anymore if we're all working from home? I don't know. Everything blends into one at the moment. But no, enjoy yourselves. And like I say, keep fit, keep active, keep in touch with your loved ones, and adhere to the rules, guys. Stay indoors. Do what you got to do. Okay. Learn a new skill if need be. I just tuned my guitar, so my poor family are going to have to deal with that, I'm afraid. But thanks a lot for sticking with us. Thanks a lot for your confidence. Thanks a lot for your engagement and your comments, etc., etc. Please share our socials. Anybody you think might be interested in property investment, anybody you think that might be interested in what we offer or that can offer us opportunity as well, please share our contact details. We are a community. We are a network. And we are, we're all here to try and further ourselves as well as further your own portfolios. So look, let's help each other out. Let's see what we can do to become better and protect ourselves from situations like this in the future. All right, guys, I'm signing off now. Love you all lots and look forward to hearing from you in the future. Take care. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.